Since the 1960s, Mexico, especially Cancun and Los Cabos, have been incredibly popular vacation destinations since both offer plenty of resort options, beautiful beaches, fun activities, and great nightlife. But there's no question that they each have their own unique strengths. So which one is right for you? Hi everyone, Vanessa here, and welcome to Passport Pages. And in today's video, I break down all the major categories you'd want in a good vacation for a detailed side-by-side comparison between Cancun and Cabo. So let's check them out so you can decide which one is better. Getting there, and we'll begin with getting to Cancun, which is located on the eastern part of Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula, which faces the Caribbean Sea. So its geographical position makes it an easy trip from the U.S., especially for those who live in the Midwest and East Coast. The actual city of Cancun is located 12 and a half miles from the center of the hotel zone, where many of the resorts are located. So there's a bit of distance, so you get that vacation feeling, but close enough that you can get into town every day if you like. So overall, a pretty convenient location and trip to get there. I'd say comparable to traveling to the Caribbean, especially like I said, if you live on the East Coast or Midwest in the US. Now for Cabo, you'll be traveling to the southernmost tip of the Baja Peninsula on the western coast of Mexico, which means it's an easier trip for those living on the west coast of the US. Shorter flights and more accessible, a little bit of a longer trip if you're not on the west coast, usually an extra flight. And its name, which means two capes, combines the towns of Cabo San Lucas and San Jose del Cabo, which are about a 35-minute drive apart, with several beaches in between. And while there are taxis and a local bus system, it's more convenient to explore this area with a car since things are much more spread apart. Just beware that many roads in the area can be very bumpy and rough, so you just might need to use the spare tire and tools that most rental cars come with. Beaches. I'll just say right up front, both locations have incredible beaches and beautiful water, but there are some slight differences. So beginning with Cancun, it has an ideal location situated right on the corner of the Yucatan Peninsula where the Caribbean Sea meets the Gulf of Mexico, giving you very warm, clear, and a beautiful shade of turquoise water. The type that you fantasize about when you wish you were on a tropical vacation. Now, more specifically, let's talk about the beaches along the hotel zone, which has over 100 resorts, so it's where most visitors stay. It has a very lengthy 14-mile strip of fine white sand, and interestingly, it's actually shaped like the number 7, which makes it perfect for activity like water sports, sunbathing, swimming, and long walks along its soft sand. So overall, very flat, sandy area, making it ideal for maximum enjoyment of its beaches. Unlike Cabo, while Cancun is flat, Los Cabos is actually very rugged, almost like a desert landscape with rock formations. But the water is gorgeous with a deep shade of blue tone thanks to the sparkling Sea of Cortez. And if you book a resort with a higher altitude, you'll get some incredibly gorgeous views. Now, there aren't as many swimmable beaches in Cabo because of the many powerful undertows that make them too dangerous. But you can ask the staff, and I guarantee they'll know plenty of safe spots for water sports and even some that are good for surfing. Cabo is also sunnier and drier, i.e. less humid, yay, than Cancun with less than 10 inches of rain per year, with most of it coming in the fall months. So a greater chance of sunny days, great for sunbathing, so both great albeit different beach settings, and as I always say, it all comes down to your preference. Activities. So this time, let's begin with Cabo, since I was just talking about its land, and that's actually its great benefit for activities. You get the mountains of Sierra de la Laguna, Cabo Pulmo National Park, Fox Canyon, ATV trails through the desert, hiking Mount Solmar, and exploring the charming and historic town center of San Jose del Cabo, which I recommend far more than Cabo San Lucas since it's a lot less touristy. The area also has one of the largest marlin fishing tournaments in the world, And in winter, blue whales give birth to their calves in the warm waters of the Gulf after completing their migration from Alaska. So if you're visiting in the winter, keep the camera close and listen for the ringing of the bell during whale sightings. The area also offers unique dive sites like Sand Falls, which is an underwater waterfall of cascades leading to a 1,200-foot canyon below. And if you like thrills, drive up to Baja's capital, La Paz, and swim with whale sharks, which get as big as 40 feet. So plenty of very unique activities in Cabo that you won't find many places in the world. Cancun, on the other hand, has better shopping, with upscale malls like La Isla and Luxury Avenue. You can also take day trips to lovely Isla Mujeres, located 8 miles off the coast, or to Chichen Itza, which was once the capital city of the Mayan civilization and is located 2 hours west of Cancun. There's also a small set of Mayan buildings right downtown in Cancun. The Caribbean Sea offers coral reefs for snorkeling and scuba diving, including the island of Cozumel, and the really cool and interesting cenotes, which are big sinkholes filled with fresh water and fish. And of course, in both locations, you also have your typical resort area activities like championship golf resorts and local water sport rental shops. But as you can see, they both offer very different styles of activities, which I like, because it's nice to have variety, right? Now to dining, and those of you familiar with my channel know that Cancun tends to offer more all-inclusive environments, and that of course includes food options, especially for breakfast and lunch. Because of this, most local restaurants open for lunch around 2 p.m. and then stay open until midnight. If you like to explore outside of your resort, there are several types of cuisine you can find in and around the hotel zone, but there are only a few oceanfront restaurants. Instead, if you're looking for great dining views, I actually recommend dining at the waterfront restaurants facing the Nechupte Lagoon for the most beautiful sunsets. And of course, there's always downtown Cancun, which, as I said earlier, is just a taxi ride away, and you'll find lots of local cuisine restaurants, as well as fresh seafood, and some international dining mixed in as well. Cabo is interesting because you get two very different worlds. If you head to downtown Cabo San Lucas, you'll find lots of chain and touristy dining options, but if you try San Jose del Cabo, you'll get many more authentic choices. And this is where, like I said, it helps to have a car. The presence of world-renowned chefs with 5-star restaurants in the Los Cabos area has really risen in recent years, and these chefs have really elevated the quality of dining in the area. A few examples worth checking out include Flora's Field Kitchen, which is part of a lovely 10-acre organic farm in the foothills of the Sierra de Laguna Mountains, and definitely worth the rough roads to get there. Other great restaurants I recommend include the 7 Seas Seafood Grill at Cabo Surf Hotel and Sunset Mona Lisa, which is ranked every year as one of the most romantic restaurants in the world. So a great spot if you're honeymooning or celebrating an anniversary. So Cabo is great for its settings and quality dining made with locally grown ingredients. Nightlife. Let's be real. When you think of Cancun, the first thing most people think of is foam parties and wild spring breakers. And there's no question that for the past 20 years, you probably want to avoid Cancun during the months of March and April. But regardless of what time of year you visit, Cancun will always have an alluring nightlife with steady crowds all year long. And honestly, you'll see partiers anywhere from 18 all the way through visitors in their 50s and everyone in between looking to have a good time. In Cancun, nightclubs usually sell open bar bracelets, so you pay one price to enter the club and drink all night, although bottle service is an extra fee. Cancun also offers bar hopping tours, so you can experience several nightclubs in a single night. So Cancun is definitely the spot for a good nightlife. Cabo, on the other hand, is quite interesting. If you're in Cabo San Lucas, you'll also see the spring break crowds and lots of tourists walking around with beer and plenty of late-night dance clubs, biker bars, and live music venues. But San Jose del Cabo is much more peaceful and offers a more authentic Mexican experience. So nightlife here is much more low-key and consists of walking its narrow but very picturesque cobblestone streets, where you can duck into a cozy winery or rooftop bar and listen to local guitarists playing acoustic shows. Just very romantic and charming, but a much different scene here. And obviously, if you're looking for a more exciting nightlife experience, Cancun is the clear-cut winner. Resort options. I've done many videos reviewing specific resorts in Cancun, so I won't go into all that, but suffice it to say, there are many resort options in Cancun, especially in the hotel zone, which is just resorts and hotels. So it's almost overwhelming how many options there are, just a great variety. Now, Cancun looks very much like South Beach in Miami, where the hotels and resorts are high-rises and sit close to each other for literally miles. So this definitely causes a lot of congestion on their beaches, especially during peak season. But because there are so many resort options, if you're looking to travel on a budget, Cancun is the way to go. With so many options, you can shop around for good rates, and since many of the properties are mega resorts, they can keep the rates down and make up for it in volume of guests. The resorts in Los Cabos are generally much different, as they tend to be shorter and more spread out, making their properties and beaches more secluded and less active than those in Cancun. And there's no question that Cabo has become a more luxurious destination as well, with more upscale and therefore pricier resorts, with incredible places like the world-famous one and only Palmilla Resort and Esperanza Resort, which is my personal favorite. And I could go on and on. Las Ventanas, the Montage Los Cabos. And that's not to say that Cancun doesn't have wonderful resorts as well. I've talked about many of them before. But in my opinion, the resorts in Cabo are unparalleled in terms of service and luxury. So what's my verdict? I think that Cancun is the winner for better activities, nightlife, and quantity of resorts, with a tremendous number of options for all budgets, while Cabo wins for better beaches, dining quality, and overall better resort experiences. So who's the winner in your book, and what do you place the most importance on when picking a vacation destination? I have to say, even though they each have their own strengths, I think whichever location you choose, you'll have a great vacation experience, and I know many of you have already done so. As always, if you're new to my channel and would like me to continue making videos, I'd appreciate if you'd please click the subscribe button. This is Vanessa for Passport Pages. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye, guys.